Hi, everybody. It's region weather meteorologist Matt Wentz. It's Sunday night. You know what that means. It's region weather live time. We'll take you through the week ahead in weather. We've got a lot going on this week, as always, this time of year, right? We've got a thunderstorm chance. Some of those could be on the strong side. We have, I think, what most of you have been waiting for, at least after this last stretch of humidity. We've got some drier air that's going to move in, and it's going to be really nice. Especially for the close of the Lake County Fair, which I know we've got a lot of people either attending or participating in. So we'll talk about that and we'll take you through your next 10 days as well. And we'll answer your questions as always here at the end of the broadcast. All that and more, although there's not much more than that, but we'll say and more in this Sunday evening edition of Region Weather Live. That's it. Hi, everybody. It's Matt Wentz. Nice to be with you here on this Sunday night. The theme in our household tonight is just refreshed. My wife just gave me a haircut. Ever since COVID started, she's been doing the haircuts in the family. So we gave our 3-year-old son a haircut. He's about to turn 4 this week. Big week on Tuesday. So anyway, so just got a haircut. I just cleaned the weather center here. I've got a pretty decent setup downstairs, for our region weather office, all that stuff. But everything just feels fresh around here. I kind of like it. It smells good. Cleaned the basement. Kids made a mess of it, but that happens. So anyway, I hope you're feeling fresh. You're probably not because it's been so darn humid outside. I want to start with humidity. We'll talk about that first. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I know Lake County Fair going on. Lots going on with that. That was always one of between that and Porter County Fair. I mean, you've got two wonderful fairs in Northwest Indiana. Not to discount the others, but we always did live shots at both of those at my time back at Lakeshore Public Television. So there's that. Gregory, hello. Mary, hi. Mark, hello. Vicky, how are you doing? Kim, Amy, Maxwell, Gail, JK, Vicky from Hobart, hello. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. All right, let's get to what you need, which is the weather. I need to thank my sponsors first. Thanks for the hot shirt here, Griegers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram out of the Valparaiso area. It's not often you need a new vehicle, right? But if you do, and maybe you're in line for a Jeep, good top down, good top on in the winter with the 4-wheel drive, but that is the place to go. They've got a brand new line out. They make car buying fun over at Griegers. We have a couple region weather folks that have gotten new cars through them over the last two and a half months, goes back to June. But they are very happy with their experience there. And prices aren't too bad either, given the sky-high car prices across the country right now. So Griegers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, pay them a visit. Our other sponsor, they signed on with us through the winter. I just couldn't be more thankful for them. That means we need to keep these shows going through the winter. No pressure, right? We'll have a lot to talk about, trust me. But Tiger Plumbing, if it's not often you need a plumber either, let's be honest. But if you do, go local. They've been in the business for over 40 years in Northwest Indiana. It's tigerplumbing.net. They give us a tip every single week. In this week's tip, this is a good one. I need to do it myself. But once a month, you want to go to all your water shutoff valves in the house. And even the ones outside as well. You don't have shutoff outside, but some of your water nozzles, and you want to move them back and forth a couple times to keep them from rusting over. That way, if you ever really need to use them, which you usually don't, you want to be able to do that. So go wiggle your water shutoff valves. I can't tell you how many are in our house that we can't even move. So that's not good. Tiger Plumbing, come help. Anyway, they come out for free, which is great. They don't charge trip fees, but tigerplumbing.net. Please keep our sponsors going by supporting their business, because they keep us going. I certainly appreciate them. Okay, weather-wise, we had the severe weather earlier today. Our southern counties, Newton, Jasper County, everyone had the heavy rain, right? You got soaked this morning. We've kind of cleared things up nicely after some lingering rain. But those southern cells were packing a punch in terms of the wind. We did have some wind damage out of that. Those southern cells just kind of rolled across our southern tier counties with some wind that was charging out ahead of it. Those are gone. What I'm showing you here, this is the infrared satellite picture. This is the last day and a half or so. And you see this big explosion of red here. These were the storms that developed last night that worked in here this morning. Keep in mind, whenever you see the red on an infrared satellite, it doesn't mean you have severe weather, although we had it with this. That's indicating how high these clouds got, how organized it was, and how cold the cloud tops were. That just tells you how high they get in the atmosphere. These were reaching some 60,000 feet up. Cluster of storms kind of rolled through northwest Indiana. You can see how the general motion, as we look at the motion across the northern tier of the country, it's generally, kind of circulating almost like a high pressure. Everything kind of moving from the northwest, moving clockwise. But you can see how it's just kind of rotating around. This whole system's kind of spinning. What you don't see in here is there's a cold front right up here where my mouse cursor is. If you follow this little area right here through North Dakota, now it's getting into Minnesota. There's a cold front draped back in here. That cold front's going to move through tomorrow. So tomorrow's our good chance of storms this week. We have another chance. I think it's on Thursday. We'll have to look at the latest model run, but that's what it was this morning. And then outside of that, what these fronts are going to do are they're going to be bringing in less humid air this week, slowly but surely. We've got one taste of it and then another taste of it later this week. But I really think you're going to like the forecast because we're going to say goodbye to all this humidity. So what I want to go to next is rainfall chances. Let's talk storms tomorrow first. Then we'll go the next 10 days so you know what to expect. But in terms of storms tomorrow, you notice tonight what we've got going on, a cluster of storms forming in Iowa and Minnesota. That will likely go off towards the north, but that's going to spray some showers and storms south of that along that front. So we could have some lingering activity tomorrow morning. That could linger into midday. And then what's likely to happen is as that starts to fade, cold front's still not here yet. We're talking early afternoon, 1 or 2 o'clock. We'll likely see storms develop along that. Big question is, do they develop over us? Do they pop up over us? Do they pop up just down to our south and the east? Does the front get through first before they develop? A lot hinges in terms of our forecast based on when those storms initiate. This is the HRRR model. I kind of like it best. It has the storms developing either over northwest Indiana or just northwest of us. So that would bring them through. Timing on this, we're talking mid-afternoon, probably 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Somewhere in there they develop and then they move out. I think it's a one-hitter tomorrow in terms of the storms. Then they're out of here. There is a severe threat with them, though. I think hail and maybe some gusty winds. Those would be your primary threats. Tornado threat's pretty low this time of year. There's not much of a jet stream. But that would be the threat. But the thing is, it's not going to be guaranteed tomorrow. Not everyone is going to be guaranteed rain. If these storms develop, Newton, Jasper County, then head out, that would make all of our northern counties rainless tomorrow, right? So what we're going to do is kind of broad brush it as we usually do this time of year because you have to. Storms don't, develop on cue. They don't always storm everywhere either. So we're going to go scattered thunderstorms tomorrow. It's the early afternoon through the mid-afternoon that we'll have to watch. And then by tomorrow evening, we're going to start to clear things out. And you can kind of see the arrows on here. We bring a nice refreshing north wind off the lake. If you have swim plans Tuesday, just an early heads up, we'll have a decent wind off the lake. So there's going to be a rip current risk with that. The waves are going to pick up. It's going to be a little choppy on Tuesday. So if Tuesday's a beach day for you, if you're not an experienced swimmer, you don't want to go in the water. But if you are, just be careful. We will have some rip currents around on Tuesday. But we start to clear things up after that. All right, so I want to go long term here. And the thing I want to start with, because we've gotten a couple messages over the last, 3 or 4 days. That's it. Talking about the humidity, like when are we not going to be able to go out, or when can we finally go outside and not automatically be dehydrated because you need to drink water? So I want to start with that. These numbers you're looking at on here, these are the dew points. This is what measures how muggy it feels. A lot of people, think humidity tells that the humidity percentage or relative humidity. That tells you about the moisture in the air compared to how full it can get. I always disregard the humidity percentage and relative humidity. Don't worry about those numbers. The number you want to focus on is the dew point. So if whatever weather app you use has a dew point on there, that's what you want to see. Whenever you're looking at a forecast to determine if it's going to be humid or not, if it's going to be muggy and you're going to sweat like crazy, look at the dew point. So when we get dew points above 70 degrees, that means there's a ton of moisture in the air and it's tropical, feels like Florida outside. That's where we've been. If dew points in the 60s, if you remember these ranges, it helps. If dew points in the 60s, it's kind of humid outside, but it's bearable. The higher in the 60s you get, obviously, the more humid it gets. If we get dew points down in the 50s, that's comfortable air. There's a little bit of humidity, but you can barely feel it. Lower than that is bone dry air. In the wintertime, we have dew points in the teens and 20s, right? It's just, there's no moisture. So right now, we're in the mid 70s in terms of dew points. It's just downright tropical outside. Watch what happens this week, though. I want to take you over the next 7 days with this. We stay humid tonight. We stay humid tomorrow, right? That's going to feed those showers and storms. Here comes the drier air behind the front in terms of feeling, right? Humidity. So tomorrow afternoon, still humid, still tropical. Once that front passes by tomorrow evening, like probably 9, 10, 11 o'clock, that north wind off the lake is going to bring in more refreshing air. Tomorrow night, if you can bear it, I think it's a windows open kind of night. AC off, windows open. Temperature's still going to be in the 60s, so it's still going to be a little bit warmer, but still that dew point's going to come down and bring in some drier air. So here we are Tuesday. Tuesday looks comfortable. Notice how the humidity is down towards the Ohio River Valley, down towards southern Illinois and Indiana. We get dew points in the 50s and 60s, so really refreshing on Tuesday. Our next front arrives on Thursday. So what you'll notice is the moisture will start to kind of collect out ahead of that front. So here's Wednesday, dew point still in the 60s, even some 50s. Another comfortable day on Wednesday. Our muggy meter goes way down Tuesday, Wednesday. But then Thursday, it kind of comes back up. You notice how we get some higher readings off towards the north. That's that next cold front coming in. But watch what this one does. So here's Thursday afternoon. We're a little bit humid, right? Dew points in the mid and upper 60s. But by Thursday night and Friday, look at this air mass. Look at all the blues on here. This is fall-like. Again, these are dew points, not temperatures. 40s and 50s. This is nice for this time of year and kind of rare. This is going to be a true northern Canadian air mass that slips into southern Canada, and then that front will grab it and bring it in. But we're talking dew points in the 40s and 50s. That is just downright comfortable. And again, that's late Thursday. Friday, it sticks around. I mean, we've got a weekend around here, right? Saturday looks great. Dew points in the 40s and 50s. And then eventually, as you'd expect, we'll start to collect that moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico again off of our corn crop out towards the west as well. But, you know, that humidity is going to come back. But boy, what a week. We get two rounds. We get some drier air Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we get some really dry air Friday, Saturday, perhaps into Sunday as well. So the dew points look good. How about rain? Let's talk about that because we do have 2 rounds of rain this week. The first is tomorrow, as we talked about. That'll be those storms that we'll have to watch early afternoon. And this will be the last thing I show. So if you want to go ahead and ask your questions, we can certainly answer those right after that. If you have something on your mind, be happy to answer it as always. But here's tomorrow. You notice storms firing either over us, just northwest of us, or just southeast of us. So it's not a slam dunk guarantee that we get storms tomorrow. It depends on where they initiate. But it does look, as of right now, with the latest model runs, it does look like we are going to get some storms. Some of those could be strong. All right, tomorrow evening, we clear things out. The front kind of settles down towards our south. You can see all the rain collecting along that. We're dry on Tuesday with that nice air. We're also dry on Wednesday with that nice, comfortable air in here. And then Thursday, here comes our next front. Maybe some storms along this. There's not a lot of moisture because remember that first front went through and kind of squashed that moisture down towards the Gulf of Mexico. So that means the Gulf of Mexico air can't quite get up here. So that next front comes in is like, where's the moisture? It might have some, you know, off of, you know, whatever it can collect from the Pacific or Atlantic. But overall, it looks kind of moisture starch. So I'm not expecting widespread, robust storms on Thursday, but the chances there. I think we'll see some isolated cells pop. So keep that in mind. Chances of rain this week, tomorrow and Thursday. On into the weekend, look at this dry air mass as it comes in. All the rain is far away. Then our next shot at rain will come off of that heat that tries to push back in from the plain states, and that would come in the form of some showers and storms that rotate along that ridge. We all know that pattern. And then, you know, heading into the latter half of the week, into next week, we're now talking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, some kind of system along the Gulf, some kind of cold front. Who knows? It's too early to call at that point in terms of the rain. But it does look like we go pretty dry after that. So real good chance of rain tomorrow. I know we've had some heavy rain here recently. We could use some more for our water tables, right? Farmers could use a little bit more rain. Reason why we're going to go dry probably the next 6 or 7 days, not seeing a ton of rain. So we could get as much as we could now to get our water tables good and then go from there. Okay. So that's what we're looking at weather-wise this week. I hope that helps. Again, you know, I do these broadcasts for you. I really want to help you plan your week and know what kind of stuff you're looking at on your weather apps. Perhaps you don't look at weather apps. You just wait on this. I hope this helps you kind of settle. So rain chances, final recap, rain chances tomorrow. And those will come with some storm chances tomorrow. They could be strong. Still some question on where they develop. But if we do get hit with those, which I think we will, we could have some strong winds and some hail with that. That moves through. Refreshing air comes in Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, another front comes in from the north. It's kind of a drier front, so just isolated storms. And once that front goes through Thursday, really refreshing Canadian air mass, like so nice Friday and Saturday for the Lake County Fair to end, right? Isn't that going to be great? It's going to be fantastic. So after that, there's some signs heat builds back. But folks, we are now getting into, if we're going 10 days out, we're now getting into mid-August and even late August. And we're talking August 17th next Wednesday. So, it's going to be a little bit more common here to see some of these cooler, refreshing air masses come in on the go forward, which is really interesting. Boy, time flies. All right, let's answer your questions and we'll get you on your way here on this Sunday night. Again, I'm just so privileged to be able to share my passion of weather with you. I'm just blessed that you guys even listen to this. So I appreciate you guys all joining us here, especially on Sunday night. Okay. Jenny says drought is over. Boy, Jenny, doesn't Mother Nature know what she's doing? It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to worry about the drought, especially after the rain today. Brent, you're welcome, buddy. Thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. I appreciate that. Let's see. It's been rough for the fur babies. They can't sweat, so keep an eye on them. Yeah, I didn't know that. I guess it's most animals don't sweat. I actually just learned that about 24 hours ago. I saw some story on how cows don't sweat, which is I didn't realize that. But yeah, fans, cooling, ice bowls for the doggies, all that good stuff. Take care of them. John asks, that's a good question. What is the best way to convert from the Zulu time these models use to our time? So it's confusing, John, and even as a meteorology team, any meteorologists I've worked with, we tend to get confused as well. So I kind of do a roundabout. And the only part that's confusing about it is when we fall back and when we spring forward, we're like, wait, is that another hour or not an hour? So what I'll do is I typically subtract 5 hours from whatever it is. So let's say it's 16Z on here. That's anywhere from either midnight or 1 a.m. local time. So you'll subtract 6 hours from it, and then sometimes your math will be off and all that good stuff. But or 5 hours, sorry, and your math will be off. So I usually subtract 5 hours, and then I would have to look it up because I have to every year. When we fall back, that usually I don't know. I get so confused. Just do 5 hours and you're close. All right. And then, or just find a model that doesn't have the Zulu time on there for sure. Mike I never shut off my air conditioner. Mike, we don't either. We really don't. I don't. I need it cold at night, and I think most people are like that. I think most males need it a couple degrees colder because we run warmer, and then most females need it, a little bit warmer because they run colder, right? My wife and I are about 4 or 5 degrees off in terms of agreement on temps, except for overnight, which is great. Yeah, Rob, drought's about over, and I would say that's area wide. We were out of it last week. Technically, we were really on the borderline. We had a little bit of a surplus, at least at our hubs, our reporting stations, right? Not everyone has the exact amount of rainfall from thunderstorms, right? So that's why we have our different METAR sites that measure how much rain falls, so it's kind of a general, it's not for everybody, but most of Northwest Indiana is out of the drought, especially after today's rain. That really helped. Could we slip back into it? We certainly could, but I think at this point in the summer, our peak sunshine's over, so we're not losing as much out of the ground every single day because that sun's not heating the ground quite as much. I know it's hot, but it's not quite doing the work that it does in June and July. So I feel like we're out of it. I feel like we're going to have a pretty nice looking end of August in terms of precip in the ground, and then September's looking good too. We could always go dry, but again, we're losing a lot less every day, so we're in good shape. Mike, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. And you're welcome for sure. Karen, thank you. Appreciate that. Look forward to your forecast every week, says Amy. Amy, thank you. I hope that helps. That's good. That's okay, Debbie. Debbie missed the time for storms tomorrow. Debbie, we're thinking early afternoon through mid-afternoon is when they fire up. But there's still some discrepancies and some questions if they develop over us, if they develop just southeast of us and we miss out on the rain altogether, which I don't think will be the case, or do they develop back towards Chicago? Some of them could be strong. By tomorrow evening, we're sitting pretty. It's going to be a nice, refreshing north wind. Good night to head out on the porch for sure. Jenny, school starts already? Ugh, that's early. School starts Wednesday. Kindergartner turns 6 on Thursday. Yeah, it'll be a nice week. Good for the birthday parties. My 3-year-old son turns 4 on Tuesday, which is interesting, and they don't start school for a while. But good luck with that. Wow, that's a big deal. Mike, I've thought about doing it on here. I've done some Zooms with area classrooms. We have a couple teachers on here, so I've done that. And then locally, I do weather school visits. So I'll go out with the kids. That's one of my favorite things, is going out and teaching. I mean, we have fun. I do really fun weather school visits where we do fake reporters. I've got this aluminum foil made microphone that looks so awful, and the kids love it. And we play music, and everyone counts down, and it's a lot of fun. But I teach them about radar, satellite, and jet streams and weather maps, which is some kind of a snooze fest for some of them, but depends on the age, for sure. Maxwell, I know. I've jumped into the app business before. I've tried. There's just so much that goes into an app. And to be honest with you, it costs a lot of money to start that up and to keep that technology going, and to pay a developer, because I can't develop that myself. So I've thought about doing a region weather app, but to be honest with you, it's a very saturated market, and most of the apps use the same stuff on there. Not many of them have human input on it, at least in terms of the computer modeling. So it's stuff you can grab off the web. A lot of the same numbers that I show in my forecasts are the numbers that go into an app. The only difference between that is, I'll tell you some of the numbers are off sometimes, right? And we'll come up with our own forecasts based on, our history of forecasting and meteorology experience, stuff like that. So that's the only problem. Whenever you're looking at an app, it's the computer generated numbers that we all see that go into there. There's no human changing the numbers for your location, because they wouldn't be able to. It's too wide of a coverage area. But anyway, Maxwell, I've thought about it. I'm not, with 3 kids and everything I've got going on, now's not the time for sure. Thanks. So, Susan, you're welcome. Let's see. Well, I appreciate it, guys. Matt said it. Take it to the bank. I like that. We should do T-shirts, Jay. All right, Mike, you're welcome. Yeah, Maxwell, no problem. Maxwell, by the way, guys, Maxwell, did you put that picture that they featured on WGN on your Facebook? He had this awesome capture of a lightning strike, and WGN featured it. Tom Skilling showed it, which is cool. I mean, we all love Tom Skilling. He did great getting on there. So you did a really good job, Maxwell. Thank you. Adam, Canadian Air. Adam, this is the same Canadian Air we're going to be complaining about come winter. So just remember that for sure. Jason, thank you for the stars, buddy. You guys don't ever have to do that. I really appreciate that. Our sponsors keep this free, so they do a nice job. We have a nice relationship with them. So, but thank you so much. I appreciate that. Right. I read your comment, Rob. That's awesome. All right, guys, I think that's it. I appreciate you joining me. A couple things just coming down the road. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go down to just Sunday nights in terms of this live broadcast. And then I'm flirting with the idea of doing mornings, getting you guys out the door with perhaps a quick live forecast in the mornings. I don't know how into it you guys would be. It might be a different crowd, because I know you guys are my later evening folks. So just let me know what you think around that. We've still got something down the pike here that I'm really excited to announce. We're still finalizing some stuff with that, but that would kind of go hand in hand with the morning thing. So anyway, that's it. So anyway, Sunday nights will stay around because this seems to work really well. The Wednesday one gets tricky because I'm actually at work and I'm working on a lot of stuff there at work, and I need to do that first. That's the job that pays me, right? And that's my heart and soul goes into that. So it gets a little tricky to be at work doing Region Weather Lives, especially if I'm working on a project or graphics or something. So the Wednesday nights aren't working so well for me every week, especially if there's stuff going on. So we'll talk about that. Okay. I think that's it. Enjoy your week, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.